faceless, we were born for greatness. Somebody sound the alarm. A fire was set in the dark. It's time that you know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. It doesn't matter if the world is gone mad, if we just hold on, if we just hold on, yeah. The sky is falling and the world is gone mad, and we sing our songs and we just hold on, yeah. So if you're running, stop running. One life, one chance, start living. Sing it louder just to let the world know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. We're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. They say that I'm reckless because I'm relentless. They spit on my face and crush on my name and taking my life in vengeance. Yeah, you could try and blame us and try and take what's sacred, but we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. Somebody sound the alarm. A fire was set in the dark. It's time that you know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness.
What's going on, guys? I know it's been a long time since we posted, but there's a lot that's went into this video to turn Helen into what she is at the moment, and I just kind of wanted to sit down, talk it out with you guys, and just kind of explain everything that we've done on this whole entire build. So let's get into it. First things first, starting out, I really just want to go over all the components and what has gone into building this motor. So starting out where we're at late model engines. Can't thank my company that we work at enough. I work here, and the owners, Pecos and Brian, are just amazing, and all the guys that work here are amazing. This is where I built the motor, and I can't thank them enough for everything that they've helped out with. Next up is Hooper's heads. Jacob and Hooper have been friends since I moved to Houston. I met them at Samtech, and ever since I've done anything related to racing or automotive aftermarket, they have hopped on board and wanted to do anything involved with cylinder heads for my builds. On the 5.3, they ported a set of 243s for it, redid them a couple times after my stupidity, and I can't thank them enough for that. But on this build, they did a set of their 275 LS3 aftermarket cylinder heads, and they rip big time. We built this engine. I ran it naturally aspirated with a camshaft that is meant for a blower, because at LME we like to dyno test everything naturally aspirated before we do a blower, and we made 678 horsepower naturally aspirated. That's pretty good. This is a 416 LS3 base block, and that's a lot of power naturally aspirated. That's not even a cam that's spec'd out for NA. If we did an NA cam, this thing would be well over 7,000. So that being said, that is a very healthy motor. And of course we threw the blower on top, but I'm gonna go ahead and get into the components of the engine. Starting out, we got CALLIES crankshaft. They helped us out on the crank. It's a Compstar 4-inch stroke, 8 counterweight crankshaft. Amazing crank, for rated about 1,400 horsepower is what we use it for. Next up is Diamond pistons. We got a hold of Diamond and wanted to get a set of their 2K pistons. So the pistons inside this thing are rated for 2,000 horsepower. This engine's never going to see that, nor will the block handle that. But I just wanted to have a rotating assembly that was proven. And here at LME, we've done this combination for over 100 engines, and I know it's the most reliable combination that I can put into this engine. We also have CALLIES rods in this thing too. They're an Ultra H rod. Going from there, we have a custom ground Comp Cams camshaft. The camshaft that we chose was from Comp Cams. We really like Comp Cams' profile. They've been around the industry forever. They've worked and R&D'd their cams for longer than I've been alive. They've been around for way longer than I've been alive. So we use their cams a lot at LME, and we know that they rip. So that's what we chose to do for a camshaft. The camshaft specs are 250 duration on the intake, 262 on the exhaust. The lift is a 650 on the intake and 640 on the exhaust, and the lobe separation is a 116 plus 4. Rocker ratio is a 1.7, LS3 of course, but that's what we did for a camshaft. I'm not here to hide anything. You know, if you call me up and we want to build something at LME, I'm going to give you your cam specs. We don't hide stuff. There's a lot of companies out there that think that it's secret, but we're building LSs here. There's nothing secret about an LS. So after the camshaft, I got Johnson lifters in this thing, nice tie bar lifters. Jacob wanted to put a big valve spring in the cylinder head for all the high RPM that I show this thing. I really don't want to ride this thing at 8,000, but this time we really built this thing to not float valves. It's very possible, I can still do it, but we really tried to upgrade the valve train on this go round versus what we had on the 5.3. So in return, he told me that we really need to get a Johnson lifter. So when your head guy tells you to get a better lifter because he's putting some big springs on it, I'm gonna listen. So we've got some Johnson tie bar lifters. Manton came on board with some push rods, so we have a very stable valve train. I spent a good time putting together a very healthy valve train on this setup, which paid off, and it's going to pay off all through the season. So huge thanks to Manton for coming on board with some push rods. We just got factory rockers with trunnion upgrade, CHE trunnion upgrade. Those are another proven part that we run here day in, day out. I would trust CHE trunnions all the way up to 2,000 horsepower personally, I would. And the factory rockers are bulletproof. Some people might disagree with me, but that's fine. I don't really care. As far as valve springs go on the heads that Hooper and Jacob supplied, we decided to go with a PAC 1209. That is a valve spring that is good for 700 inches of lift, but we're utilizing it to add some spring pressure to the combo that we're doing. Because I only have 650 left, but we just wanted to get some extra pressure in there to try and stabilize the valve train as much as possible. Moving up to the blower, we have a Speedmaster blower. Speedmaster came on board with their 871 LS3 blower. Big thanks to them. This blower is pretty stout. Made 10 pounds on the dyno. We weren't really able to push it on the dyno because the dyno was having some issues, you know. Oldest name in the book, excuse, whatever. I'll put the dyno graph up here. Made 1,073, and you can see it's still climbing. The starter wouldn't start, and LME runs a business here, so I couldn't just leave this thing on the dyno and just keep running it like a lot of people could. We had to take it off there because the next day we got engines to run. I'm looking at 10 engines here that are ready for the dyno, and we were barely able to squeeze this thing in on the weekend. So I took what I could get, made over 1,000 horsepower. That's a lot more than 90% of the field out there, so I'm very ecstatic with that. We have an engine that is going to compete very well, as long as I can do my job and drive, because I'm not so sure as if I'm as good of a driver as a lot of these guys out here, but that's what we're going to find out. Helen's an old girl that I have built with my friends and family, and you know, if something doesn't work, it's completely on me. And same goes with this engine. We machined it here at LME, but I still put this engine together. Our engine builders did not put this together. They gave me advice on what to do, but I take 100% responsibility for anything that happens to this motor because I am the only one that put this thing together. So there's no blaming. And when stuff comes apart, I don't blame anyone anyway. That's the number one thing people want to do is, oh, you did this, you did that, and it doesn't matter. We're here to have a good time. We're racing. Stuff breaks. It's the name of the game. Get over it and fix it. You know, that's how I've always been. I don't ever point fingers at anybody. I just want to fix my stuff and go out and have a good time. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. But moving up to the hat, because we all know the hat is what makes this thing what it is. This hat is an Enderly Big and Ugly. This is what they call the Big and Ugly 1. This is a 10.5 inch tall. The throttle blades are 5 9/16 of an inch big on each throttle blade. As you can see, they are ginormous. So each blade equates to you LS guys out there. A lot of the LSs have a 102 throttle body, 103, 112, and even some of these newer throttle bodies are going up to 120. I think the Hemi stuff is up to like 130 now. To give you guys an idea, one of these throttle blades is 140 millimeters. So very unnecessary, very hard to drive. So what we did is we put 2 block offs on each end. We essentially cut off flow from 2 butterflies. There's no reason to have the whole entire hat. This is only a 418 cubic inch motor. I call it 416, but we're oversized a little bit, so I get those extra 2 cubes in there. But this hat is ginormous. But I couldn't do this whole engine and put a small hat on. It does not look right. Helen is meant to look mean, and we had to make sure that she looked that way. So I opted for that hat. Big and Ugly has been around for ages. Again, longer than I've been alive. These hats have been run on dragsters, funny cars, you name it, everything. They are a proven part, and this is, I keep saying this, proven part. Everything about this build is something that's been proven. I always want to have proven parts on my build because the more proven stuff is, the less issues you're going to have. A lot of these people want to do custom, unique, one-off things, and when you start doing that, you start having issues, and then you get upset. And when you're doing custom race car stuff, everything's not going to be that way. This is still a custom deal, and so if anything happens, it's, again, a race car deal. You can't be too upset about it. So anyway, so as far as the hat goes, this is a proven hat that's been ran for ages, and I'm no exception. These have ran on burnout cars, these have ran on dragsters, and all sorts of stuff. So I got this hat from Good Vibrations. They are very good as far as customer support goes. They have helped me set up the barrel valve. A little rich, not gonna lie, but I'd rather it be rich than lean, you know, and I'm sure they would too. But I'm getting the grasp of the mechanical injection, and I'm gonna learn. I'm only 24 years old, so this mechanical injection has been around since, again, before I was born. So I'm really trying to learn how to use this and tune it correctly. Really hope that I don't have to learn the expensive way. I've been listening to everybody as far as tuning tricks go, and having people help me read plugs and making sure I'm not doing anything stupid. Last thing I want to do is melt a hole in this thing. But anyway, we have a bunch of new LME parts on here. Whole dry sump system. We have an LME dry sump pan that is very good at pulling the oil and having everything come out and scavenge correctly. It's a very trick system that Pecos has come up with, and super excited to be running one of the first ones. Another new part that is on here from Motion RaceWorks, big shout out to Doug Cook and Motion RaceWorks and Fluid Works, is our new dry sump pump. We have a 5-stage dry sump pump that is going to supply oil pressure and scavenge to this whole engine. This dry sump pump is making all the oil pressure that I could ever need and more. It's creating a lot of oil pressure, which is awesome. I need to work on heating the oil in this because running methanol makes it very difficult to get your oil up to temp. So I'm going to work on doing a heater. System for the dry sump so that I am able to do that. I need to heat the oil before I run. That's going to help out a lot of things, but mostly it's going to help out that pump. Right now it's making well over 100 psi, which just means the pump's doing great. There is a bypass valve that I can adjust, but when it's at temperature, it does great. When it's at temperature, it idles around 70, and after the pull, it's up to like 100, which is good on a dry sump. 100 is fine. Once you start getting to the 110, 120, that's when you start blowing seals out and having bad days, and you don't want to do that. But as far as the engine goes, that's about it. The engine made 1,073 horsepower, as I mentioned before, on 10 pounds of boost. So 10 pounds, 1,073, and the graph is still climbing. I spec'd everything out to pretty much go up to about 8,000. So we had a whole another 1,000 RPM to go, and the dyno just wasn't cooperating. So I would have to guess we'd be around the 11 to 1,200 range, you know, which is more than enough to do burnouts. Hell, 1,000's enough to do burnouts. So very, very excited about this new engine combo. Never in a million years did I think I would have something of this level. I wouldn't be able to do this without all the partners that hopped on board this year to be part of something and be part of something special. The events that we're going to this year are big events. Powered Cruise is going to be very big. The Australians are having cars shipped over from Australia to come compete in America because they know how great America is, and they want to do burnouts in America, which is awesome. Good on them. But there's nobody that's better at burnouts than Australians right now, and I am making an effort to change that. I want to be one of the top burnout contenders in America, and this engine, in my opinion, has the possibility of doing that. So that's what we're going to work on right now. Still have about a month's worth of work to get this thing operational. I've already missed 2 events at the beginning of this year, which has killed me. I haven't missed a burnout event in over 2 years, but the sacrifice that I'm taking now, I'm really hoping is going to pay off when I finally get to come out with this thing, because it should be one hell of a machine, and that's what we're looking for. Moving forward, some things that I'm working on are a fire suppression system. Everybody wants to do all the cool hot rod stuff, but a lot of people don't look into the safety aspect. I don't think there's a single car out there that's got a suppression system on it. I would strongly suggest it. I was watching a video the other day of a sprint car driver on fire. Can't see him because methanol fires are clear. That's one of my worst nightmares, if I'm being honest. So I'm gonna have a fire suppression system on the engine and in the cab, as well as a spare fire extinguisher. Can never be too safe. So even then, it's still dangerous. What we do is dangerous, but I'm gonna try and be as safe as possible. That's one of my big things going forward. We need to get some puke tanks finished up. Teresa has been a huge help as far as welding goes on Helen. She has helped me cut apart the fuel cell, and she installed baffles in the fuel cell so that when we're spinning around, hopefully the fuel doesn't slosh. That is one of my biggest issues I had last year that really killed me. So I'm gonna try and run this style. It's a 20-gallon tank. I should not run out of fuel. I have all the baffles so that the fuel doesn't slosh around. It's a pretty cool system. I tried to make it as good as possible, like the road race guys do. So she's welded that. She's welded a lot of things on here. She welded that. She made a whole puke tank for the dry sump system. We're going to be working on a puke tank for the engine itself. Just run lines from the valve covers to a bigger puke tank. The methanol tends to create a lot of condensation and milk the oil, unfortunately. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but I would rather it go into a tank than onto the pad, because you just kind of ruin it for everyone else, and I'm not there to do that. I'm gonna be making that, and then this weekend, what we're trying to plan on is building a new set of headers for this thing that are stainless. I built the Zoomies last year for this thing, and they're just ugly. Everybody loves the Zoomies. I love Zoomies too. I love the sound of Zoomies, but they are hideous. And Helen deserves a nicer set of headers than that. And Teresa's a very good welder, and I bought some stainless flanges, and they're going to be similar to Zoomies, but they're not gonna be the traditional upswept like a funny car. We're gonna run these things back, pointed towards the tire, help point the smoke out, and ultimately just help out the burnouts. That's one of the biggest things on Helen that was always hard, is it always blew the smoke into my cab. So we're gonna try and get that smoke away from me so I can see a little better, because we have a lot of wheel speed this year and we're gonna be making a lot of smoke. Some of the videos that you're gonna see are of me and Dad working on the blower, getting stuff mocked up, Teresa welding some of the fuel cell, me putting the motor together, and then I'm gonna throw in some of the dyno videos as well. Doing, Dad?
There it is. Putting in a sexy torque converter.
Nice bolt together converter, huh?
Yeah, boy.
We jumped ahead a little bit. A lot of cameras died and everything. We kind of started working. So I'm gonna put one of the last pieces on. Not one of the last. We have a lot of pieces to go, but it's starting to look like something pretty cool. So threw some heads on, and we got the blower sitting on there. And my God, I gotta say, we got ourselves a top go rat rod. Is all I gotta say right here. This blower looks freaking amazing, and we're just continuing to mock stuff up. These aren't out the real heads. Still got to pull all this out. I got to degree the cam. I got a lot of stuff I still have to do, but getting everything mocked up as we can at the moment, because when we pull it out and I get everything put together correctly, we're going to put this on the dyno, and we're going to see what this thing makes with the blower and methanol and everything. But for right now, we're just trying to get a bunch of stuff done on the car. So I'm gonna put the snout on here and get ready to put the other pulley on, get the belt put on, just doing stuff. You know what I just realized, though?
What?
I gotta pull the crank support off to put the belt on.
Yeah, I saw that.
That sucks. This whole project has been pull apart, go back together, pull apart, go back together.
What do you think of that thing, Chris?
I think badass.
Yeah.
Snouts on. Just gonna get my little pulley bracket support doodad.
Tensioner.
Yeah. Look at that. Oh, it's bolted down. Okay.
mock up.
Fuck yeah.
That's a pretty big pulley there.
It's not even a party pulley. That's just a little guy pulley.
Yeah.
It's like street strip combos.
How much boost? How many boost this is?
Not much. I don't know what it is. It's like 10% overdrive, so nothing, essentially. Essentially nothing. So.
Gonna put you in the 1,000 club, you think?
Maybe. I have a feeling no. To be honest. So, for a second I was like, fuck. There we go. No, I don't think so, to be quite honest. I think I'm gonna need to find another pulley to make it happen. We'll find out though.
What are you doing to this intake manifold?
So when I get a brand new billet intake, first thing that you want to do is drill it and just completely just start hogging on it.
First you scratched it up, now you're drilling holes in it.
Yeah, so what we're doing, I'm not running port injection, I'm just running mechanical injection through the hat. So what we need to do is plug these off. So I'm drilling it out and I'm tapping it with our quarter NPT plugs. That way I can go through and put just a plug in there. That'll be good because it's gonna be under boost, so I didn't just want to press something in there in case. You never know how much boost we're actually gonna have. I don't really want to shoot one of these plugs out. So these have threads and they're not gonna go anywhere. So that's what we're doing, and I'll get to tapping these, putting plugs in.
Like a glove.
Not going anywhere. And if I ever want to do like mechanical port injection, I can do an adapter that goes from this out for my port nozzles. Also a good thing to have. on my YouTube. What is it called, Patrick? Say it. Say it.
Say
I
it.
don't remember.
Don't lie.
Broke Dick Garage.
Broke Dick Garage, dude.
The unveiling of Broke Dick Garage.
Dude, this is old school. Nostalgia.
Look at this smiling thinker.
Gasket.
Smiling picture.
Am I working?
It's not work when you love it, Colin.
That's right. I don't even know what that is. Check valve of some sort.
Oh, look, paper, I can't read.
You gotta put all these like shit they're saying in it at the end.
Yeah.
What do I have here in my head?
Yeah, just pull it out by that. Yeah, don't worry about it.
That's a big plastic bag.
Oh, dang. Dang. God, dang.
Brother.
Holy shit.
That's like the top new alcohol drugs for shit right there, boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
Dude.
Meow, 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 meow.
That goes with what I was saying earlier.
That's nuts, dude.
Is that huge?
That's what she said.
It is so big. Wow.
It's that chocolate dream right there, dude.
That's right. It's like so big and stuff.
So big and stuff. Holy fuck.
What do you have to say?
Nothing, I'm speechless.
This is his first love.
Send that to Orlando.
You have to spit down those holes.
Damn.
Rich boy.
How do you like stop?
Holy son of a fuck!
Hell yeah. It's not even that aggressive. It's like, it's good. I mean, it's in the line of windshield, but I mean, you can tell it's still good though. I think it's amazing. I think it's perfect. Hey, dude. Get it?
Not yet.
How's she looking?
Alright.
Cleaning it out right now. It's got a pretty badass baffle system inside. I'm glad I cleaned it because I had a ton of metal savings. So somebody blew something up. Maybe that's bad juju, but it's got badass baffling. Just clean it up. The bar saw getting all the oil out. And then I'll clean it up with the water over here and do some more polishing on it. All right, we got both of these block offs in here. I'm gonna go ahead and put my throttle shaft in here. You can tell it's got nice little roller bearings, super awesome. Got just nice little bead of silicone in there to seal everything off. I'm gonna get this blade in there. I'm gonna go ahead and get the actual blades. I'm gonna Loctite those because we all know those bolts can get loose for sure, so we don't want that. These bolts that hold these down have lock nuts on the bottom, so that's really nice. But you can see the blower in there, got my nozzles. I don't have a gasket in there right now, but the gasket that I do run is gonna have a screen in there, so that should block a lot of the things to go in there, in case anybody wants to try and be a piece of crap and throw bolts in there. Some people love just to grab these and throw bolts in, but no worries. I'll have screen in there to protect myself. But anyway, getting everything put back together, and we'll be good to go. So these blades do have a certain way that you have to put them in. I learned that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this put in, try and get everything set back to how good vibrations had it, and hopefully we'll be set up as far as the hat goes. All right, we're back up under this thing, and some stuff that we got knocked out. We got the transmission cooler all mounted. I ran a little piece of rod from the battery tray down, and then I slit a hose in half, put it on there. That way it's mounted by a rubber isolator. And then did the same thing right here. Just ran that bar from the my little tunnel deal that I have here over there. The underside of the rat rod is pretty ugly, you guys, so if you judge me, I completely understand, but still a winning vehicle, all right? So anyway, I took out the old cross member, built that when I was about 12. Not really a bad cross member, I just wanted to make it easier to change the transmission. With all this extra power that we have this year, I have a feeling that we're going to be taxing this transmission. I'm gonna bring a spare to all the events just because, but I wanna make this super easy. So I have this deal here to where it bolts up. It's just a straight bar, just like this. And so all I gotta do is pull 2 bolts out, this whole thing drops down. Should make everything a lot easier. The mid plate will hold the engine in. Everything is just better. Just making everything more how it should be. Let's take you up here. We ran this dry sump line, this pressure line. It runs up into this remote filter here. We got a K&N filter, and that from the filter is going to go right here in the engine. We're pulling the engine out, so I didn't want to connect it to the engine there. But we've got the LME dry sump, Motion RACEWORKS FluidWorks pump, Jones pulley. We need to get a belt for this thing still, but we are making progress. That I can show you up top once we get this cross member in. I got the tank mounted. I think I showed you guys that, but the tank's mounted. Puke tank's all done. So we're just working away on this thing, just getting stuff ironed out, getting it ready, because I get a couple more dry sump lines and fittings this week, and Jacob's gonna have my heads done over at Hooper's. So it's going to be full steam ahead once we get heads, because then I can start this thing. But anyway, guys, just giving you a little update. We're gonna go ahead and get this cross member bolted in. I just finished welding it, so it's a little hot. But get this thing put in. That way we can drop this thing back down. Start working on things up top.
Okay.
All right. In an effort to save these beautiful, beautiful legs down here, we are gonna go ahead and cut off this bell housing and use a Bluetooth bell housing. So what you do is you just want to make sure that you turn the transmission on before putting it in. That way it pairs nicely to whatever engine you're doing. So we just made sure to calibrate the settings to LS to make sure that the Bluetooth is going to cooperate correctly. Anyway, yeah, these bell housings are known to explode for absolutely no reason. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it off and use the Bluetooth version of it. Is that good, Chris? You can. This is a really nice bell housing. It would really be a shame if I cut it off. All right, we got our nice Bluetooth bell housing installed over here. We're gonna go ahead and take this over to the old rat rod. We got our new converter from Speedmaster. So we're gonna go ahead and get everything put together, and I wanna see if I need a spacer or not. So we're gonna mock everything up, see if it needs a spacer. Use our brand new cross member that we just built. You know, put that in there, put our lines back on, and should be good to go. But I wanted to put this on here just to save the old legs. You know, we're about quadrupling the old horsepower what we had last year. So I just putting some small safety measures in place to have for my life. you know. All right, drive shaft is back in, all the way up here. We have our nice cross number that we just made with the 2 bolts on each deal. So I can just pop that out and everything pops down whenever I want to change this. We have the new bell housing on here. Got the new bell housing on here, looks good. Got the Speedmaster torque converter looking all good in here. So I just had to change around some spacing on the inside there, but got everything ironed out, looking good. So we're gonna go ahead and lower this down, pull the engine out for the last time, because this week we're getting heads. We're gonna put heads on it, put everything else on it, run it on the engine dyno, and then when we put it in next time, it'll be the last time until something else goes wrong. But for right now, it'll be the last time. So we got everything done, drivetrain wise, got the transmission cooler all finished up like I showed earlier. I think we're good to go. So I'm gonna go and lower this thing down, keep working on it. All right, we're on our last leg for the weekend. Pulling the motor out and just get that out. Put it on the stand, get it ready for the dyno. Get heads on it this week. Get it all assembled, throw it on the dyno, see what it does NA, break it in. Then after that, put on the big girl, the big cheese. Where'd you put it, Chris? You hit it. You hit it. The big girl right there, the big cheese, we'll put that on there right after. But I'm gonna pull this out, get her all set up. Last time pulling her out, next time I put it in will be the last time I put it in. For a while, till I blow it up.
Yeah.
We are at the dyno at LME with, a little something, you know what I'm saying? All right, so let me show you what we got going on. Yesterday we ran the engine naturally aspirated. After we ran it, it made 678 horsepower. Very awesome. I just got the entire blower assembly put together. Spent all day doing this. Today's Saturday, and on Sunday we're gonna go ahead and run this thing. So I got all my fuel system hooked up. This is the barrel valve. I got this going. This is a return. This is a return. Those are going back to the fuel cell, and then I have one other return right here. This is the return from the fuel shutoff. So when we shut that off, it'll go back to the cell. So got those done. The only thing I need to do is run my main fuel line right into here. That way it goes into the pump. I just haven't quite done that yet. But as you can see, got the nice throttle return spring. We're good to go there. But when you open this up, if you look, we only got one inlet, and that's in the center. These are blocked off. So this is the equivalent to a 140 millimeter throttle body. So no need for the other two. These are meant for big blocks and top fuel dragsters and stuff like that. Not top fuel, but you guys know what I mean. Top alcohol, stuff like that. This is just a 418 cubic inch engine. We don't need all that. But we do need the looks, because the looks are very important. Something that I did on this, I upgraded this piece of billet right here. I put 3 more holes in there, so I have a total of 6 holes, 6 bolts holding this billet piece to the damper here, and then I got 6 bolts holding on here. Buddy ended up snapping his off over at his place, so I did not want to do that. So I took all that apart, redid that. Dry sump is working good. My bracket that I made, it's not the prettiest bracket ever, but you know what? This belt did not come off once. And as you can see, the pump is up against this, unfortunately, so I can't even really tension the belt. So the belt's actually pretty loose, but it's got a good guide. It guides between the balancer and the cover, so it hasn't came off, and it's straight, so if you have a straight belt, it shouldn't come off anyway. But I got everything put together as far as the normal belt, crank support's on, blower is on. It's kind of a mess just because it's a dyno stuff. Everything's just kind of mock-up, but everything's put together. I don't know what else I would need to do besides that main fuel deal. So tomorrow's game day. Time to run this baby. It's been a long time coming. Long time coming. We've had this whole combo set up and everything pretty much kind of ready for a while. We've just been waiting on a couple things and financially just kind of waiting for it, but super stoked to be ready to do this thing finally. It's been, like I said, a long time coming, and as a kid, I've always wanted a blower motor. I've been busting my butt trying to make this happen, and I have to thank all of my sponsors for this coming together, because without them, there's no way in hell that I would be able to do this. So first off, late model engines. Huge shout out to LME. Work here obviously, but they're always helping. No matter what I need help with, they're always helping. So I built the short block just like we normally would. They did all the machine work on this thing. Hooper's heads is the next one. I really appreciate you, Hooper. Thank you for these awesome set of heads. These are the 11-degree cylinder heads for LS3. So instead of having the LS3 valve angle, they have an 11-degree valve angle. Just everything about them is just a lot better. 678 horsepower naturally aspirated. If that tells you anything, it's pretty good. It's right up there with our other line of heads at LME. The blower, you shout out to Speedmaster for the blower. Good vibrations on the hat. It's a very sick hat. It's awesome. And let's talk about the bottom end. We got CALLIES, of course. Got their cranking rods in this thing. Diamond pistons. We got a Comp Cams camshaft. Huge shout out to them. It's a custom grind camshaft, spec'd by Mike over at LME, our main engine building manager over here that kind of is in charge of the whole shop here. So he spec'd that out. Him and Brian did. So good combo there. I'm trying to think of anything else that I have that I need. Joe Blow for the crank support. That wasn't really a sponsored piece, but it's a very nice piece. One of the biggest partners that came on board for this build was Motion RACEWORKS with the dry sump system. This engine needed to be dry sump, there's no doubt about it, and I am so happy that they came on board and helped me out with the dry sump, not only just financially, but helping me out with what I need to do. Brent, the engineer over there, has helped me countless hours, just telling me how to run it, what needs done, what lines to run. We're working on some projects for just us and like Motion RACEWORKS and LME. We're working on some projects for our upcoming engines that we're building. So overall, great company. Doug obviously is awesome. Everyone over there is awesome. But tomorrow is the day that we're going to run this thing. Let's just pray, because it is just a factory LS3 block. Everything is built to the tilt except for the block. So LS3s have made 1,000 horsepower day in, day out, so I'm not too concerned. I just hope that this blower doesn't try and make like over 1,200, because if it makes over 1,200, it's going to start pushing the block. So we'll swap pulleys around if that's the case. But technically, I have the party pulley set up at the moment. Hopefully that'll be around 1,100-ish is what I'm guessing. We'll just have to find out and see. Again, we're gonna run this thing tomorrow, so we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Wappa! 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 Wappa!
950 long.
6,000.
Jesus Christ.
No. I hope it makes over 1,000. Yeah, that's not even turning.
Holy fuck.
Colin's nervous.
Oh, fucking A. Oh my god.
You need a bandana. I need to buy you some bandanas.
Windshield wipers. Did you let out of there because it was sounding weird?
No, I just turned it to 6.
Oh.
No good.
No bueno.
A little fat. We're gonna lean it up a little bit.
Fix the leak first, so we can get tip into it and then see what it's actually doing.
Yeah, 100 jet, I have no idea what this is.
I have a pretty good size motor.
You gotta think, like I said, you go from 3 butterflies to 1. They don't. In a moral world, it's not crazy, but it is.
It did?
Someone's got fucking high action.
Is that what they tell you to do?
So what holds them in? Just silicone?
Single bolt on the bottom.
What?
Honestly, dude, I wouldn't even fucking silicone. They told you to do that?
That's not gonna be looking for
It's only gonna flex under high vacuum conditions, but
Did you roll it in the top too?
the plastic, so rip that shit down and
I'll have to drill a hole, but I think it might. Because everybody else that does them, they well, I don't want to weld on tack. I don't want to fucking fuck up the blades from the ceiling and shit, so I'd rather drill a hole. Use like a copper or rubber washer, use one of these, and then just go into that. Drop back. A lot of people don't want to fucking have it. I'd rather do that than fucking drill a hole. You know? Okay, so we need to figure out the damn big fit. You know we have a damn boost.
just go from there to there.
$1,073. $1,073.
That's your blow by went back down again, so I don't know what that is about.
I appreciate you guys watching. See you next time.